Have you been the 1 in 4? Or have you escaped this year? I can honestly say, I hope you haven't. Unfortunately, this year was my year. According to the charity Mind, 1 in 4 of us will experience a mental health problem each year, from anxiety, depression, PTSD and panic disorder. I don't mind sharing my experience of depression with you. It's not a weakness. It's not something to be embarrassed about. It's something I encourage people to talk openly and freely about. Let's get rid of the negative stigma attached around it. Because if 1 in 4 people have it, you definitely don't hear 1 in 4 people talking about it. So you see, this isn't a Hollywood version. I'm not an actor. I'm a real person with a real story, and this is real life. See, depression is the son of it doesn't have a boundary or rules to stick to. There is no protection from it. It doesn't matter if you're the fastest, strongest, biggest person in the world. Depression can catch you up and cut you down just as easy. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Depression doesn't work off a paycheck. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, young, old, male or female. Depression doesn't pick an age, race or sex. Depression can affect every single person on this planet, and it has been doing long before I arrived, and will continue to do so once I'm gone. See, I heard an inspirational quote from Tyson Fury. He said he got taken to his knees and couldn't get up. I've seen this guy get hit with one of the hardest punches I've ever seen, but this time it wasn't a punch. He was suffering from mental health that bad, it took him to his knees. He was depressed. The guy's 6'9" tall and was heavyweight boxing champion of the world. So that statement resonated with me. See, I consider myself a man's man, bit of a lad, but okay, I'm not 6'9" tall or a heavyweight boxing champion of the world, but I could neck a pint. I'd been in the military since I was 20 years old. I served in the Roman Commandos. I'd gone to some hot sandy places where I saw the nasty side of life. I'd been around lots of women. I'd played football at a good level. I'd raised children. I'd never really struggled to do anything I put my mind to. So yeah, a bit of a man's man. Then wow. Literally, wow. In one day, it all changed. Just like Tyson Fury, all the strength and character I thought I had stood for nothing. Depression hit me so hard, my body wasn't even mine. You see, I'd been trained my whole life to prepare for whatever environment I was about to go into. Whether it was training for a football cup final, whether it was training in the military to go on operation, whether it was training for an ultramarathon I'd entered, whether it was training to look after my kids, whether it was training for work. But one training that I never did was to train my brain in case I ever suffered trauma. If I'd known what I know now, there wouldn't have been a single day gone by without me giving it my full attention. The depression and anxiety that hit me felt like a steam train. Never in my life had I experienced anything like it. I lost my character. I forgot who I was. I lost my mental health. It had control of me, not the other way around. I lost control of my feelings. All I could feel was despair. I lost control of my sleep. My body just wouldn't shut off. I'd literally lost control of every function I had apart from breathing. And even then I couldn't control that during a panic attack. Trying to eat breakfast became one of the hardest workouts I'd ever done. I had zero motivation to do anything. See, I was stuck down the well. It felt like the biggest well in the world, and I was right at the very bottom. Not only was it dark and lonely, I was also being tortured down there. The worst thing was, nobody else was torturing me. I was doing it all to myself. You see, this made it worse because I won't be able to stop it because I couldn't stop it. When my eyes finally closed at night, due to being that exhausted, I got woke straight back up by a nightmare which threw me back into the torture of real life. There was no escaping the torment. And you know, we all have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Just imagine if they were all bad. My health deteriorated. I lost 15% body weight in a week. Some of you may think, oh, that's a great diet, but it came at a cost. A huge, huge cost. My mind had become that forgetful, I didn't even bother trying to think. Worst of all, the people that should have pulled me through couldn't. And it wasn't because they weren't trying to either, which made it sadder than ever. And worst of all, which I'll never forget, some of those people were my kids. I couldn't even do it for them. Some people would say, that's awful. That should never happen. Well, sorry, it wasn't a choice. And I'll tell you this. I felt that low and worthless. I had zero self-esteem, zero motivation. I couldn't even look after myself, emotionally, mentally, or physically. So how on earth could I look after them? Of course, I tried to draw inspiration from them. But every time I looked at them, I saw such fantastic, amazing little kids that deserve so much more than a broken dad. And each time I looked at them, the pain got worse. I'd failed them. I wasn't thinking about taking my own life, but I knew they were better off without me. At that time, they were better off without me. I was in no fit shape to do anything for them. I knew I needed time. Well, time went by and I turned a few corners. I drew inspiration from listening to Tyson Fury and his battle against depression. I gained new wisdom and knowledge about how to control my mind and my behaviour from listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza. I found relaxation techniques by listening to ASMR. And if you've watched my video motivation, you'll be aware of the 4 principles I use for change: acceptance, fear of failure, knowledge, and definition. I had to ditch the acceptance I had been used to my whole life. The acceptance that life is what it is, because it's not. Life doesn't have to be the same routine. Life doesn't have to be painful. What happened in the past, I chose not to take into the future. I had to let go of the fear of failure. Otherwise, I knew I'd never move forward. I'd never follow my dreams because I'd be too scared to. In turn, I had to adopt new knowledge. Knowledge of how to become the person I wanted to be and how to live my life with no limits. And finally, definition. I had to redefine myself. I had to drop my ego and get rid of all my negative beliefs and reinvent myself into a person I wanted to be. And that person was someone stronger than before. Someone better than before. Someone more equipped to handle life than before. Someone more understanding than before. Someone more positive than before. Someone more gracious than before. Someone more humble than before. But most importantly, not the father that couldn't be there for his kids before. So now it's my turn to throw the rope down the well for you. Let me help you out. I'm going to tell you everything I know and drag you up like I wish someone had done for me. I need you to believe in your future more than you believe in your past though. I want you to become excited about what the future holds, because it's not always going to be down a dark, deep well. But before you climb that rope, you better promise me you'll leave your ego, negativity, blame, and old self down in that well. Because when I pull you up, I'm going to introduce the world to the new you. We all have a story to tell. It's up to you how you choose to write it.